10 hottest fragrances for warm weather. I've got 5 designers, I've got 5 clones. I've got a price range from less than $20 all the way up to around $100. So I've pretty much got something for everybody. We're gonna dive into this, but before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Also, give the video a hot like if you like it. And let me know down in the comments, what would you add to this list of fragrances for warmer weather that you really enjoy as things start to heat up. Okay, here we go. So first up, I'm gonna mention one I've talked about a little bit, starting to get some hype for good reason. This brand, this line is starting to get some hype. This one is Nitro Red. And I would put it in the realm of sort of a twist, you know, not necessarily fully a clone. The brand is Dumont, by the way, if I didn't say that. But, you know, this is sort of like an Invictus-y type fragrance, but it's more fruity. There's a watermelon note. There's sort of a bouquet of fruits sitting on top of that kind of aquatic, aromatic, ambroxan type fragrance that you get with Invictus. I would say it's like 75% Invictus, and then it's got some other qualities, maybe a little Invictus Aqua, a little extra fruits. It's a really good fragrance, really good performance. This is the kind of thing everyone will love. I can't imagine someone not enjoying Dumont Nitro Red. Okay. Next up, this one is a designer, but it's a pretty inexpensive designer. The Dumont, by the way, is around 30 bucks. This one you can get for around 40 for a big 100 ml bottle, and this is by Missoni. This is Missoni Wave. And it's basically a cross between Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. You know, those two are very similar, you know, fresh, citrus, slightly sweet, everyday, every situation fragrances. And this one is, it's got a little bit of extra, it's got the freshness from the Versace, and it's got that sweet creaminess with some tonka bean from the Chanel. And so it really is right in between those. If you like either of them, then you will love Missoni Wave. Fresh, aquatic, sweet, every situation fragrance with a good dose of lemon in the opening. All right, next up, this one's a clone, and this is one that started to get a little bit of hype whenever it came out, but for some reason, it's funny. I just got this one maybe a month ago, and I've started to see a lot of people do videos on it again. This is one that needs some more love. This is a beautiful fragrance because it's a clone of Creed Aventus Cologne. This is about a $25 fragrance. Insurrection to Sport or Pure? I'm blanking on which one it is. I believe it's Sport, yes. Insurrection to Sport. And this is basically Creed Aventus Cologne. It's that familiar Aventus DNA, but it's fresher. It doesn't have sort of the dark smokiness. It's a little bit more citric. It is awesome for warm weather. So inexpensive. And this one's pretty addictive as well. Insurrection to Sport. All right, next up, we're going to go with another designer, and this one has been called like the ultimate signature scent. This is a compliment magnet. It is a very popular fragrance that's also kind of polarizing, kind of divisive. It's sort of love it or hate it. I love it. It's a very orangey, orange-forward citrus fragrance, but it's got a little earthiness as well. You probably know what I'm talking about, just the original Terre d'Hermes by Hermes. And this thing is basically a sweet tart orange with some earthy vetiver. And whenever I say earthy, I mean like the smell of like dirt or tree bark or something like that. And so you literally take this bright orange, tart orange would probably be better, and then mix it with this earthiness, and you get something that it isn't overly sweet, it's not overly loud, it's perfect for office settings, it's perfect even for formal wear. It's just insanely versatile, And this thing will get you compliments. I think it's just familiar enough that people smell it. They say, oh, that smells good. I like it. And they'll mention it to you. And that's called a compliment. I'm talking about Terre d'Hermes. And this one, there's a lot of flankers now, but this one you can get for a really good price. I mean, this is an Hermes, and for the 100 ml, you can get it for, in the $50 range usually. So that one's a great pickup. All right, next up, we're going to go with one that is a legitimate hype beast. So much so that since last summer, this thing has been sold out unless it would pop up for a few days, then sell out. Or if you go to eBay or Amazon and want to pay $65 for a clone fragrance by Maison Hamra, which should be like a $25, $30 fragrance. Now it's in stock again, and you can usually get it around $40. I'm talking about this one right here, Jean Lo Immortal. You can tell this is a clone of a Louis Vuitton fragrance. That's very obvious. And this one in particular is L'Immensité or L'Immensité, and it is a citrus aromatic fragrance. And right off the atomizer, you get this bright, sweet citrus. There's some grapefruit. There is some bergamot in there. But then there's also some aromatics. There's a real green aromatic heart to this one that comes out right in the beginning. There's a bit of a woody base. And so this one has been compared to Bulgari Tiger, or even the various clones of Bulgari Tiger. I actually like this one a little better than the clones of Tiger that I've smelled because it's a little sweeter. There's a little more of that juicy citrus in the opening. This one's gotten hype for good reason. Jean Lo Immortal by Maison Hamra. And you can pick it up again for way cheaper than it has been. All right, we're going to go now with not a designer. This is technically a niche fragrance, but this house you can very often get in designer prices. Their full-size bottle, 125 ml. You can get usually their fragrances anywhere from around the $70 range to right around $100. This one is Manera's sort of go-to beginner niche Cedrat Boisé, but this one in particular is the intense version of Cedrat Boisé. It's a little denser, it's got a little more heft, a little stronger. So Manera Intense Cedrat Boisé. It's basically a bright, fruity, sweet, significantly sweeter than the Jean Lo that I just showed you, the Maison Hamra that I just showed you. This one's been described by Ross over at TLTG as a wicker basket full of fruits. This one even more so because you take that sweet, fruity burst, more than just citrus. There's an assortment of fruits in there, but then you add in a little leather, you add in a touch of oud, some woodiness. This is an excellent fragrance in the family of Creed Aventus, but I actually prefer this over Aventus. I think I'm just sort of Aventus out, although I still do love that fragrance. So again, Intense Cedrat Boisé. You can pick up the original. You can pick up Paris Corner's Cedrat Essence, which is a clone of the original, and they're all going to be within about 85% similar to one another, but fantastic pickup for warmer weather. All right, we're going to go with another clone, and this one is excellent. I mean, for the price point, for the accuracy, they did such a great job, and this is such an addictive, sweet fragrance, perfect for warm weather. I'm talking about Jean-Gustave Amaze. Jean-Gustave Homme Amaze. And this is Fragrance World's clone of Le Beau by Jean-Paul Gaultier. And so this one is basically coconut, tonka bean, and pineapple. There's 3 fragrances in the Le Beau line, and each of them have those 3 notes kind of in different order. And then the Parfum has a much more of a musky woodiness. But this one, the coconut is front and center, and I love that. It's more so than the pineapple, whereas with a couple of the others, the pineapple is front and center. I believe this is a clone of the EDP of Le Beau, definitely not the Parfum, but man, that's such a great clone. It's quality. It doesn't smell like a clone. It doesn't smell cheap or alcohol-y or funky. It's excellent coconut with tonka bean and pineapple. Gotta love this stuff, and you can get it for around that high $20 price range below 30 bucks. All right, next up, this is another one that's a niche fragrance, but Joma Shop and several other reputable online retailers have Nishan fragrances regularly for $100, maybe $98, maybe $102, but right in that price range, you can get the 50 mLs. This stuff is nuclear strong. I'm talking about Nishan Hot. Most of their fragrances are nuclear performers. And this one, again, has been compared to Creed Aventus, but it's quite different from Creed Aventus. It does have that citrus black currant opening. It's got that pineapple, pineapple, black currant, and citrus is sort of 50% of the fragrance. That's where you get your similarities to Creed Aventus. But then you go down into this fresh, vibrant, sweet green heart that sets it way apart from Aventus. This doesn't have the smokiness, it doesn't have the density of Aventus, but this is a powerful 12-hour fragrance, excellent quality. You can smell the naturals, you can just smell the quality coming off of this stuff. So again, Nishan Hot. I held out on this one for a long time because I had so many things that smelled like Aventus. I'd even smelled this in the store and still held out on it. But now that I own it, I should have gotten it years ago because it is awesome and it's so different from Creed Aventus. Excellent Middle Eastern perfumery, niche perfumery. The whole house of Nishan, very good stuff. All right, next we're going to go with a clone of a Creed fragrance, and one that is absolutely perfect for spring and early summer, really any time in the summer. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I'm talking about Club de Nuit Milestone by Amaze. And of course, this is a clone of Creed Millesium Imperial. And this is sort of a melon, soft fruits fragrance with the way that they use ambroxan and other fragrance chemicals to mimic Creed's ambergris is absolutely insane. Amaze does, I think, a better job of this than anybody else. When they are mimicking Creed fragrances, the way that they capture the ambergris, that's a real standout of Creed fragrances, they do it so very well. It is this sweet, soft, almost chewy kind of fragrance with that ambergris in the heart and then that sort of juicy melon sweetness. It's awesome. This is an excellent, excellent fragrance. This is one of the clone fragrances that came out, I think, 3 or 4 years ago that started to really kind of change the sentiment around clone fragrances. Like, oh, wow, these clones could actually replace some of the $300 and $400 fragrances that they are emulating. I'm talking about Club de Nuit Milestone. Pick it up if you haven't yet. There's a reason that it's gotten so much hype. And finally, this one is a designer, but it's actually sometimes called a clone because it is heavily inspired by a Dior. I'm talking about Choo Man Ice. This is basically iced lemonade with a splash of orange and a touch of green vetiver or musk. I know it doesn't list vetiver in the note profile. It might be musk, but there's a green tint. So icy lemonade with a splash of orange and a little bit of green muskiness. This stuff is awesome, and it's been compared to Dior Homme Sport. And that fragrance is often called a iced lemonade, so I definitely see where the comparison comes in. And this one I got for, I think, $18 for the 50 ml, so absolutely nuts. Great performance on me, too. That's like a 7-hour fragrance on me. So this has been some of the hottest fragrances for warmer weather in my collection, but I want to hear about your hottest warm weather fragrances down in the comments. Remember to give a smoking hot click to the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll get videos like this out to you every couple days. I am Justin. This has been Sillage Scents. Thank you for watching.